Keep a lid on it there for my video. Oh, hey there guys, your buddy Elton McFall here, Mr. Nostalgic Fantastic here, who is old school all the way, which is awesome, but sometimes it's not great. Like, for example, you know, it's great to be back here in my hood of ROXBORO. And by the way, this is a part of Montreal. This is one of the oldest suburbs of the city, as you can see. And back in the day when I lived here up until the late 90s, it was actually... Oh my god, I forgot there's no sidewalk on this side. Anyway, yeah, it was actually back then just known as ROXBORO before they made a merger with Pierrefonds. And Pierrefonds is actually much bigger than ROXBORO. And now we're here on my old street here on 9th Street, corner 13th Avenue. And I lived here happily with my family in my formative years as a little kid between 7 and... I was between 8 and... let's see, till 91, so yeah, about 15. Parents split up when we were 15 years old, me and my brother. So we had some nice, and I remember all the cars that were here. That's one of the reasons why I'm making a video. Is it's not just because I'm nostalgic and I love to, show things how they are or how they were and all that. But it's because also to show you like what I remember being in people's driveways back in the day. I think this lady who used to live here, one time she gave me a ride. She had a Hyundai Pony. Look at this. What the hell's with all this fucking trees over here? Oh my goodness. And yeah, nice homes. BMW. These places haven't gotten poorer, that's for sure. And yeah, you see, that was our neighbor. Her name was, she's probably not alive anymore. I don't know. But her name was Rita Lévesque, and she had a beautiful Pontiac 6000 station wagon, complete with the fake wood on the sides. And apparently she could drive up a storm, man. She had the cops chase her for crying out loud. And yeah, it was just a great place to grow up as a kid. I've always felt very lucky. And the really strange thing is here, like, see, we're coming up to my old house here where I lived between 84 and 91. Great big old house built in 1954. But the strange thing is, every time I've come back here every few years to see what it looks like, it's got all this overgrowth. It's so fucking strange. I don't understand it. It's like it's become nestled in a jungle or something. I mean, when I was a kid growing up, none of all this plants and... Adam's right here with me. Adam, do me a favor. Get on my other side, this side here. Thank you. When I was a kid, I remember my dad would mow the lawn with the electric mower, and it was just a lawn here, just a nice lawn, just like our neighbor next door here. And there wasn't all this overgrowth. I don't know what the fuck happened. It doesn't look very good, I don't understand it. And you know what's funny? Look at this house. This was our neighbors, the O'Kanes. And the guy, I'll never forget this. He, talk about a perfectionist, this guy. This old man, he would actually not, mow his lawn like the way you see it now, but he actually mowed his lawn diagonally, just like with the entrance there. And so our 79 Delta 88 was parked there. And our neighbors next door, Marie-Lou and Marco, moved in so many years, I think, after we moved in. They had an 80 Cutlass Supreme, but then they junked it and sold it actually. No, they didn't junk it. They sold it to a friend of mine who was like already working on cars, and he was already like 14, 15. And they had a Volvo 740. So they went from a good rust bucket to questionable junk. And our neighbors, the O'Kane, they had a navy blue, 85, 86 Oldsmobile Cutlass Sierra. So it was still a GM world. See, GM, she had a GM, they had a GM. Parents had the 79 Delta 88 with questionable mileage. And all the white doors and white windows and everything, well, that used to be all beige actually. And my room used to be that little window there near the door. And the garage door has been changed. It was actually one piece when I was a kid. And I want to just finish this video showing you something interesting here. Something interesting, and I noticed something already more interesting, surprisingly. It's amazing how some things change, some things stay the same. I wonder if the people who own this house over here, which looks like ours, you can see it's a very similar design. Look at that Lincoln they have. They have a Lincoln Continental from the late 90s or I think early 2000s, which is never a common car. But when I was a kid, the thing that blew me away is they had, and I was glad I got a picture of it before we moved away in 1991. They had a 66 Toronado, and it was always in the garage. Fucking Toronado, man. And I remember once or twice maybe I would see him driving down the street parade speed, you know. And I noticed I would look at the speedometer. It was like a barrel. It was a barrel roll speedometer. The interior was this beautiful metallic green, aqua green, typical of that time. Look at these fucking LED lights. I hate them. They're more out of place with this fucking neighborhood than anything else, actually, for that matter. You know, nice bike though. So that's about it. You know, again, just for fun, showing you guys you know, part of my past, I guess, that I cherish. And back in the good old 80s when you used to hear Bon Jovi on the radio and Wham and playing Atari and again, you know, people weren't bed up about the goddamn environment. Always the fucking environment. Always with the cars and the pollution. It was like, whatever, you know, like, whatever. I mean, I remember even my grandfather one time, a few times he come over, I had noticed this one time his car was so carbonated because he didn't drive enough. The 351 V8 just got so carbonated. One time he had the car parked on this side of the street, and I look out the window because I think my grandfather was leaving or something, and he started up and, you know, and just this huge cloud of black smoke. It was almost like Uncle Buck's car, just because the car was carbonated. The body was fucking shot. I mean, it was so rusted. God, Fords, did they ever rust? But you know what? I'll tell you something. It was a hell of a good car because my grandfather had that car fucking 20 years, you know. So there you go. Anyway, that's it. That's all. Your buddy Elton saying, I hope you enjoyed this. It's nothing incredible of a video, but you know, whatever. Maybe you lived in ROXBORO. Maybe you live here in ROXBORO. Maybe you also lived and grew up. Maybe you're in your 30s, your 40s like me, and you grew up in the suburbs, and it brings back memories for you. Well, if that's the case, that's what it's all about, you know. Scooters. You know, when I was a kid living here, man, ain't no scooters, I'll tell you right now. I don't even think I remember really even seeing a motorcycle come by around here. Oh, one more thing. Since we're almost on the verge of summer here, you see this huge big tree line over here? You know, sometimes we would get like really strong thunderstorms when I was living here, and I'll tell you something right now. I was worried that some of these trees were going to come down. I mean, Jesus, they're huge, you know, they just crash down on the house. Ugh. Ugh. Cube. Ugly. Incidentally, I one time so many months ago, I actually looked up Street View just for fun. I went on Tokyo there, you know, Okinawa, whatever, all these towns in Japan, and the Nissan Cube, man, it's really big down there, you know. But then again, the Japanese over there, they seem to like things silly, you know, silly. You know, clothing, and it's just like some sort of a surreal world. But so that's it. That's all. Y'all take it easy. Adios. Bye bye.